Shabbat Shalom, Kol Halal, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akal Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us the truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that pushing the word of truth and its sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, the Akwat that are listening, learning, being a pillar of rest, the 144,000, one-third, the hopeful elect of Israel, and the brother Yahshua back with the World War III daily update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to you all. It started 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia, the nations, plural, of the dragons of Arabia. So all the Arab nations shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Okay. Then it goes into the Persians, the Carmanians, the Iranians, join in battle with them, right? And the dragons shall have the upper hand. So anyway, let's let Scott Ritter tell it, bring it up to date here. In the, I don't know how to tap, Thai Toy vlog. Thai Toy. 38 minutes ago, Scott Ritter exposes chaos in Israel, Iran, and Hezbollah's big plan to smash the IDF has begun. Who? Iran and Israel. Salah. Iran and Hezbollah. Who is that? There's the dragons, right? And there's the wild boars. Together, their big plan. We just read about it, okay? It says, the dragons of Arabia, the wild boars of the wood, Iran, and the Arabs, Hezbollah, all of them. What's these guys' names down there? Hamas, Hezbollah, okay, Houthis, any other H name, okay? So this could very well be this particular situation when they do come out with many chariots. This is talking about them coming out with many chariots, right? Right off the out of the scriptures. So let's listen to Scott. Take it away, Scott.
Two things. One is to assert some sort of legitimacy for Benjamin Netanyahu as a world leader. I just want to remind the audience that he is somebody who has an arrest warrant out for him because he's a war criminal, a practitioner of genocide. This is a man who is responsible for the deaths of tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of innocent Palestinian people. He is the scum of the earth. And yet he was invited to the United States to speak in the People's House before the people's representatives. He wrapped himself in not just the flag of the United States, but the ostensible cloak of legitimacy that entails, that brings out. So this was to, assert him as a legitimate leader. And then the other main goal is to, in doing so, send a signal to the Israeli people that he is the anointed leader of Israel, that America supports, America backs. There are some peripheral things being discussed. He, of course, has a vision that he outlined in his speech. It was pure fantasy, derived from lies, derived from mischaracterizations, and just total manufactured crap. But he had to say that because he had to put a marker down for his constituents back in Israel, the far right wing, that he was fighting for the cause they support. He couldn't come to the United States and articulate something that was not politically supportable by his base. So that any deviation from what he articulated, and there will be major deviations, when he returns to Israel, he can say, I had no choice because America insisted on this. And we need America, and America has picked me to be the leader of Israel during these difficult times, because his coalition will collapse if he, buys into a ceasefire, which he's being pressured to do so by America. So confronting the reality of a collapsed coalition and understanding that without the ability to assemble a new coalition to replace it, his political career is over. And he will probably, at that point in time, spend the rest of his life in jail as a convicted, corrupt leader, unable to leave Israel because he'll be arrested on the spot because he's a war criminal who has committed genocide against the Palestinian people. He is going to do his best to remain politically viable. Right now, the only way he can do that is to wrap himself in the American flag and say, I am the anointed one, the one that the United States, and this ridiculous show in the People's House, having American leaders who have lost all morality, all sense of right and wrong, applaud him as if this was a replay of the Soviet Central Committee of the Communist Party back in the Cold War.
We thought that he's going to ask for some sort of permission to go after Hezbollah, but he was talking about more about Iran, and he wants a war with Iran. Do you think he's really serious in what he's talking about?
No, of course not. He's not serious. He can't have a war with Hezbollah because he will lose a war with Hezbollah, and he can't have a war with Iran because he will lose a war with Iran. It's not serious. Nobody in the United States is taking this serious. Yes, we have the French kooks on the right and the French kooks on the left, both of whom meet in the same spot because they are unabashed supporters of this Zionist criminal entity we call Israel. But nobody's going to war with Hezbollah or Iran. That's the quickest way to a death sentence for Israel there is. He was playing to the base. There will be no war with Iran. There will be no war with Hezbollah. It just isn't going to happen. It's a fantasy on his part. The Israeli Defense Force has said, we can't do this. We are out of tanks. We are out of spare parts. We are out of ammunition. We can't defeat Hezbollah. We can't defeat Hamas. So when you have your military saying this, what makes you think that he's going to go forward with campaigns that are destined to end in not just the a minor defeat of Israel, but the strategic defeat of Israel, the destruction of Israel? No, it's just all words for the base.
All right, we'll stop it right there because everything he's saying is exactly what's going to play out. They are going to move forward, okay? And they will be defeated. How do we know? Well, we just read it. 2nd Ezra 15:28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, as in the Middle East, where the nations, right, of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So there's all of the Arab countries, right, and the Iranians, the Iranians. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So the wild boars are going to join battle with the dragons. Okay? Join battle with them and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So this is telling us what's going to happen and who's going to win. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their wild man nature. Okay, so we already know, right, that what he's saying is true. That if Israel went to war with Iran, they'd get their ass whooped. If Israel went to war with Hezbollah, like they did in 2005, they'll get their ass whooped. So they're counting on Babylon to come up and take up the slack, which they're going to do. And they're still going to get their ass whooped. How do we know? Because they're saying so right here. And shall waste a portion of the land of America. See that? These shall flee. Where is it? Then these shall be troubled. Who's these? These Assyrians. Then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and in their hosts shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. So, yeah, it's not going to go. It's going to go exactly the way that he's saying that it will, which is why the FBI showed up at his house and trumped up some charges on his ass and got him on the hot plate right now. All right. So, this is how things happen. FBI searches Delmar home of former UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter 3 days ago. Why are they coming after Scott? Because he's letting you know what the fuck is really going on. Somebody's hovering over the target. That's when you get the flack, right? Why is the FBI coming after Scott? Right? Because he's saying shit. They're calling him a Putin sympathizer. So anyway, with that, we're gonna continue to watch. Stay on your watch and warn the people. With that, we hope that the elector edified you, brothers and sisters. Shabbat shalom.